I see the burden you carry, my friend. That suffocating weight pressing against your chest when you wake at 3 a.m. The gnawing sensation that the world has misunderstood you, perhaps deliberately. You feel it in your bones. This divine restlessness, this prophetic unease that separates you from the herd grazing contentedly in the valley below. But let me strike this feeling with my hammer and hear what sound it makes. Is this truly divine selection, or have you simply awakened to a terrible truth that most spend their entire lives fleeing? The answer cuts deeper than any Sunday sermon. Your isolation is not punishment, it is altitude. The air becomes thin where eagles fly, and the herd animals below cannot breathe at such heights. Their lungs, adapted to the thick, warm atmosphere of collective mediocrity, would collapse in the icy winds where you now stand. This is the first physiology of the chosen one. Your nervous system rejects the toxins that others call normal life. When they speak of their petty concerns, career promotions, neighborhood gossip, the latest distraction served by the entertainment industrial complex, your body responds with nausea. This is not weakness. This is your organism's sophisticated immune response to spiritual poison. The superior spirit does not fit into decadent systems. It experiences them as illness, as a violation of its higher metabolism. But here lies the danger. The abyss I must illuminate before you take another step. The same sensitivity that makes you prophetic also makes you vulnerable. For those with ears to hear, I have left the map to exit the labyrinth in the pinned comment. In my trilogy, The 3 Keys to a Prosperous Life. But know this, the map is useless if the legs refuse to walk. The first step represents not reading, but becoming. The transfiguration of suffering into strength, of silence into sovereignty. These keys are not comfort. They are weapons for those with the courage to wield them. Now, let us excavate this divine warning about silence with the genealogical spade. God warns you to remain silent about 3 things in 2026, yes? But I ask you, which God? The God of the weak, who demands you shrink yourself to make others comfortable, or the God of your own highest potential, who demands you conserve your vital force for the great becoming? There is a profound wisdom here, but it has been poisoned by centuries of slave morality masquerading as divine instruction. Let me separate the gold from the dross. The anatomy of strategic silence. When the heavens supposedly command your silence, we must ask with the precision of a surgeon, silence for what purpose? There are 2 forms of silence, and confusing them is the error that has castrated more great spirits than all the armies of mediocrity combined. The silence of weakness is the silence of the slave who has learned that speaking truth brings the whip. This is the silence of trauma, of learned helplessness, of spirits broken by gaslighting families and soul-crushing institutions. This silence says, I am small, my truth is dangerous, I must hide. The herd loves this silence. Your toxic family thrives on it. The mediocre masses demand it. Why? Because your silence allows them to continue their comfortable lies. When you do not speak your truth, they do not have to confront their own cowardice. Your muteness becomes their mirror's fog. They can continue to see themselves as good people because you've agreed not to show them what they really are. But there exists another silence, and this is what the truly strong understand. The silence of power. This is the silence of the lion before it springs, the silence of the storm gathering its force, the silence of the master who does not argue with slaves because argument grants them a status they have not earned. This silence says, I am becoming something so vast that premature revelation would only diminish it. I do not hide, I incubate. Oh, this is the silence that protects the seed in winter, so it may explode into forest in spring. The question that will determine your destiny in 2026 is this: Which silence are you practicing? Are you silent because you have internalized the herd's verdict that you are too much, too intense, too different? Or are you silent because you are pregnant with a vision so powerful that speaking it prematurely would miscarry the future? The former is self-betrayal dressed as obedience. The latter is spiritual warfare dressed as restraint. Let me be even more precise, for the stakes could not be higher. Your family, those blood-bound strangers who claim to know you, what is their investment in your silence? They call it humility or not being arrogant, but watch their faces carefully when you succeed despite their predictions. Watch how quickly concern transforms into sabotage, how "I'm just worried about you" becomes "Who do you think you are?" The genealogy of their morality reveals everything. They do not want you humble, they want you controllable. They do not want you grateful, they want you dependent. The moment you outgrow the narrative they've constructed about you, the troubled one, the black sheep, the one who never quite, you become a living refutation of their own limited choices, and this they cannot forgive. This is why they pathologize your differentness. ADHD, trauma. You're too sensitive. These diagnoses are modern whips, updated techniques of the same ancient control mechanism. The herd has always had words for those who see too clearly: heretic, witch, madman, chosen one. Notice how they frame your heightened perception as dysfunction rather than what it truly is. Evolutionary advancement. Your nervous system processes reality at a higher frequency than theirs. This is not damage. This is development. But acknowledging this would mean acknowledging their own spiritual poverty, so they invert the values. They call your vision delusion, your intensity imbalance, your refusal to numb yourself resistance to healing. Let me tell you what they will never tell you. You do not have a disorder. You have a superpower that terrifies them. The chosen one's so-called sensitivity is actually permeability to truth. While others can lie to themselves with industrial efficiency, you cannot. While they can swallow the cultural programming without gagging, your body revolts. This is not a bug. This is your system's way of refusing to be poisoned. But here is where you must be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Are you using this sensitivity as a sword to cut through illusion, or as a shield to avoid responsibility? Are you wielding your differentness as power, or wearing it as a victimhood badge in the new religion of therapeutic culture? Because here is what I observe from my mountain. Many who call themselves chosen have simply found a more spiritual-sounding way to avoid the great work. They've replaced actual transformation with endless healing journeys. They've substituted genuine power with collecting diagnoses, like merit badges. They speak in the language of elevation while remaining precisely where they've always been, waiting for the universe to align, for God to move, for circumstances to finally be right. Meanwhile, years evaporate. The body ages. The window closes, and they console themselves. I'm being obedient to the timing. But obedience to what? To divine wisdom, or to the comfortable inertia of victimhood? This is the question that will separate the actual chosen from the cosplayers in 2026. Are you silent because you are gathering strength, or because you have become addicted to the role of the misunderstood martyr? The three forbidden revelations, a genealogical autopsy. Now let us dissect these three things you must supposedly never reveal, cutting through the spiritual rhetoric to expose the raw nerve of truth beneath. First, your vision and divine plans. The instruction rings true, but for reasons more brutal than the preachers admit. Yes, you must guard your vision, not because God said so in some mystical transaction, but because of the raw physics of human nature. When you announce your vision prematurely, you trigger a psychological phenomenon in others: anticipatory sabotage. Their unconscious mind, threatened by your potential ascent, begins working against you before you've even begun. They become invested in your failure to prove their own choices weren't cowardly. Joseph's brothers did not hate him because he was arrogant. They hated him because his dream exposed their mediocrity. His vision was a mirror showing them what they refused to become. Notice, they did not attack his dream by arguing against it. They attacked him. They threw him in a pit. This is what the herd always does when it cannot attack the vision itself. It attacks the visionary. It questions their motives, their sanity, their worthiness. And here is the terrible part. If you speak your vision to those who are secretly invested in your limitation, you give them the blueprint to undermine it. Think tactically. A general does not announce his battle plans to spies. A businessman does not reveal his strategy to competitors. Yet you, drunk on the need for validation, announce your most sacred visions to people who have demonstrated through years of behavior that they prefer you small. Why? Because you have confused testimony with strategy, sharing with exposure. The need to announce is often just a sophisticated form of seeking permission from those who will never grant it. You are essentially asking, is it okay that I outgrow you? And you already know their answer. But let me hammer this from another angle. The angle of will to power. Announcing your vision prematurely dissipates the vital force needed to manifest it. There is a finite amount of energy for creation, and when you spend it on explanation, you rob the doing. I watch so many of you become professional becomers, endlessly discussing your transformation, narrating your journey, curating your growth for an audience. But while you're posting about the mountain, others are climbing it. While you're explaining your vision, others are executing theirs. The talking is not the doing. The announcing is not the arriving. And in 2026, you must learn this or remain precisely where you are, at the base of the mountain with an impressive vocabulary about summits. The most dangerous part? The dopamine hit of announcement feels exactly like the dopamine hit of achievement. You tell someone your plan, they react with enthusiasm, and your brain registers this as partial completion. The urgency dissipates, the hunger dulls. You have received the reward without doing the work. This is why so many visions die in coffee shop conversations and therapy sessions and late-night phone calls with friends who totally get it. They get it, you feel seen, everyone feels profound, and nothing changes. The vision becomes a story you tell, rather than a reality you build. Here is what the strong do. They guard their vision like a flame in a storm. They speak of it only to those rare few who have earned access through demonstrated loyalty and wisdom. And even then, sparingly. They understand that the vision is not for explaining, it is for executing. The plan is not for validation, it is for manifestation. When your vision is real, genuinely real, not just spiritually flavored fantasy, you do not need others to believe in it. Your belief, coupled with relentless action, is sufficient. And when it manifests, there will be no need to explain what it was. They will see what it became. But the weak cannot do this. They need the announcement because they need the attention, the validation, the social proof that they matter. They need witnesses to their intention because the intention is all they have. The follow-through never comes, but at least people knew they meant to. This is the tragedy of the announced life. High visibility, low impact. Now, from the lens of Amor Fati, the tragic affirmation, your vision was born in silence and must mature in silence. Would you plant a seed and then dig it up every day to check if it's growing? No, you would kill it. Some futures can only develop in the dark, protected from premature light. Your need to share may feel like excitement, but physiologically, it is often anxiety seeking relief. You want to share the burden of belief with others because holding it alone is terrifying. What if you're wrong? What if you fail? What if this vision is just delusion dressed in spiritual language? These fears are legitimate, and here is what you must hear. You might fail. The vision might be wrong. You might waste years on a path that leads nowhere. And you must do it anyway. This is the amor fati, the love of fate, not the naive optimism that everything happens for a reason, but the warrior's acceptance that meaning is created through commitment, not discovered through certainty. You do not wait until you're sure. You become sure by walking the path, but you cannot walk while explaining. Choose. The physiology of silence. Why your body knows. Let me take you deeper into the organism itself, for the body is wiser than all philosophies. Have you noticed how your energy drops after explaining yourself to skeptics? How exhausted you feel after defending your choices to people who will never understand? This is not psychological. This is physiological. You are experiencing energetic hemorrhaging, vital force flowing out through the wound of unnecessary explanation. The chosen one's nervous system operates differently. You are more sensitive to energy dynamics because you must be. You are processing reality at higher resolution. This means you feel the psychic drag when someone is draining you, even if they're smiling and saying supportive things. You feel the subtle hostility beneath pleasant questions. You sense when someone is asking not to understand, but to gather ammunition. Your body knows before your mind does. But the herd's morality has taught you to override these signals, to dismiss them as paranoia or trust issues. But what if these sensations are not distortions but data? What if your trust issues are actually trust wisdom, the hard-earned knowledge that not everyone who asks about your journey is cheering for your arrival? The strong learn to read these signals and adjust accordingly. They do not share indiscriminately. They do not confuse openness with intimacy. They understand that some people are reconnaissance, not relationship. Your silence in 2026 must become active, not passive. Not the silence of suppression, but the silence of strategic energy conservation. Every time you choose not to explain, you are choosing to invest that energy in building instead. Every time you withhold your vision from unworthy ears, you are compounding its power. The discipline of silence is the discipline of directed force. You are learning to be a laser rather than a light bulb, concentrated rather than diffuse. And here is the paradox the preachers miss. The more powerful your silence becomes, the more others will demand you break it. As you grow quieter, they will grow more curious, more insistent, even more aggressive in their questioning. Why are you being so secretive? What are you hiding? I thought we were close. These are manipulation tactics disguised as concern. They frame your boundary as betrayal, your privacy as arrogance, but you must see through this clearly. Their discomfort with your silence is their problem, not yours. You do not owe anyone access to your inner world. Not your family, not your friends, not even your partner, unless they have demonstrated through consistent action that they are allies in your becoming rather than anchors in your limitation. And 2026 is the year you learn this lesson viscerally, written not in your journal but in your boundaries, not in your affirmations but in your actions. The second forbidden truth. Your process of becoming. Never reveal your struggles, your formation, your secret alchemy. This instruction cuts to the bone of modern spiritual culture, and most who hear it will misunderstand it completely. They will use it as permission for fake positivity, for Instagram highlight reels, for the tyranny of appearing blessed while privately drowning. But this is not what is being asked of you. The silence about your process is not about pretending you're not struggling. It's about refusing to perform your struggle for an audience that will either fetishize it or weaponize it. Let me map the territory with precision. There are those who will romanticize your suffering. You're so brave for sharing. They want the drama, the narrative, the vicarious intensity of watching someone else do the hard thing while they remain safely unchanged. They will encourage you to keep sharing your pain because it makes them feel evolved for witnessing it, but they have no interest in your actual healing. Your wound is their entertainment, your trauma their content, your breakdown their opportunity to play savior without making any real sacrifice. Then there are those who will weaponize your struggles. They will use your moments of doubt as evidence you were never that special to begin with. They will point to your failures as vindication of their own cowardice. See, I was right not to try. They will take your vulnerability and twist it into ammunition for why you should give up, settle down, stop pretending you're different. These are the most dangerous because they often wear the mask of realism and tough love. They're not trying to help you, they're trying to pull you back down to their level where they can manage their envy. Here is what you must understand with absolute clarity. Your transformation is not a spectator sport. The deep work, the real excavation of self, the dismantling of false identities, the reconstruction of your psyche from better materials, this is sacred work. It does not belong in group chats and social media posts and casual conversations with people who knew you before and are deeply invested in keeping you there. Why? Because their identity is often built on your old identity. You were the troubled one, which made them the stable one. You were the one who never finished anything, which made them the responsible one. Your transformation demolishes these narratives, and people will fight to preserve them, often unconsciously, through questions disguised as concern. Are you sure this is healthy? Don't you think you're going too far? I liked you better before. But let me flip this to the will to power perspective. Your process of becoming is your competitive advantage. While others are performing their journey, you are actually on one. While they're curating transformation, you are living it. The silence protects not just your energy, but your edge. In a world where everyone narrates their growth, the one who actually grows in silence becomes magnetic, not through marketing, but through presence. People sense the depth. They feel the shift. Your silence is not absence. It is evidence of work being done at levels they cannot see. Jesus spent 30 years preparing for 3 years of ministry. We know almost nothing about those 30 years. Why? Because the preparation that matters happens in obscurity. The crowd always wants to see the miracle, never the discipline that made the miracle possible. They want the summit photo, not the 1,000 nights of training in the dark. They want the finished statue, not the years of chisel strikes against resistant marble. And if you give them the process before it's complete, they will either mock the incompleteness or try to rush you toward a premature conclusion. Your family especially cannot handle your process. They knew you as a child, as a teenager, as the version of you that fit their understanding. The new you, the one shedding trauma, setting boundaries, claiming agency, is incomprehensible and threatening to them. They do not have the framework to support your transformation because it implicates their own stagnation, so they will pathologize it. You've changed. Yes, you're being selfish. No, I'm being sovereign. This isn't you. It's finally me. You're going through a phase. I'm going through a metamorphosis. Do not explain this to them. You cannot. They lack the spiritual vocabulary, and more fundamentally, they lack the will to understand. Understanding would require them to question everything they believe about themselves, their choices, their values. It's far easier to frame you as the problem, troubled, distant, too intense, than to consider that maybe, just maybe, you've awakened to truths they're still fleeing. From the genealogy of morals lens, society's resistance to your transformation is not personal, it's systematic. The herd maintains itself through conformity pressure. When one animal breaks from the group, heading toward unknown territory, it triggers anxiety in the others. Not because they care about the individual, they don't, but because that individual's departure exposes the arbitrariness of the herd's boundaries. If they can leave, why aren't we leaving? This question must be suppressed immediately, and it's suppressed through collective judgment of the one who departed. They're not brave, they're reckless, not growing, abandoning us, not choosing themselves, being selfish. This is why you must protect your process with absolute ruthlessness in 2026. The moment you open it to the herd's judgment, you invite contamination. Their voices will get into your head. Their doubts will become your doubts. Their limitations will become your limitations. Not because they're right, but because the human psyche is profoundly vulnerable to social pressure. We are herd animals pretending to be individuals, and the herd's pull is physiological, not just psychological. Your body craves belonging. Your nervous system was designed for tribal connection. When the tribe rejects you, or when you reject the tribe, your organism experiences this as life-threatening danger. This is why leaving toxic families and limiting friend groups and quitting soul-crushing jobs feels so terrifying, even when logically you know it's right. Your body is screaming, "We'll die alone." It does not understand that solitude and death are not the same thing. It does not understand that sometimes you must betray the tribe to remain loyal to your soul. This is the amor fati element, the tragic necessity. Your becoming will cost you relationships. Not might cost, will cost. Some people cannot accompany you to the next level because they're not supposed to. They were beautiful and necessary for who you were, but they're incompatible with who you're becoming. And here is where most people fail. They try to drag everyone with them. They try to maintain all relationships while fundamentally changing. They exhaust themselves explaining, justifying, reassuring, "I'm still me." But you're not. And that's the point. The caterpillar must let go of being a caterpillar to become a butterfly. There is no version of this where it keeps its old form while adding wings. The transformation is total. The old self doesn't get upgraded. It gets dissolved. And the people who loved the caterpillar may not love the butterfly. This is not their fault, and it's not yours. It's simply the cost of metamorphosis, and you must be willing to pay it, or you will remain in the chrysalis forever. Never quite caterpillar, never quite butterfly, just suspended in uncomfortable in-between, waiting for permission that will never come. How many truths can you bear to hear right now? The sacred no. Boundaries as spiritual warfare. Let us discuss what the churches will never teach you. The sacred no is a form of devotion. When you say no to what diminishes you, you are saying yes to what expands you. When you refuse to explain yourself to those who've demonstrated they'll weaponize the explanation, you are protecting the sacred work. When you draw boundaries around your energy, your time, your inner world, you are not being cold. You are being strategic. The herd morality has convinced you that boundaries are selfish, that withholding is cruel, that silence is violence. But this is slave morality speaking, the morality of those who benefit from your openness and lose power when you close ranks. The master morality understands some doors must be closed for other doors to open. Some relationships must end for your true purpose to begin. Some explanations must be withheld for your energy to remain potent. In 2026, you will be tested on this repeatedly. Old friends will resurface, not because they miss you, but because they sense you're rising. Family members will suddenly become concerned after years of indifference. People you haven't heard from will want to catch up, and you must discern. Are they celebrating my ascent or attempting to interrupt it? Are they checking on me or checking on me, gathering intelligence for the envious? Your body will tell you. That sinking feeling in your stomach when certain names appear on your phone. That's not anxiety, that's wisdom. The exhaustion after certain conversations, even when they were nice. That's your organism recognizing the energetic cost. Learn to read these signals and honor them. The chosen one's gift is discernment, but the curse is that everyone expects you to override it for the sake of being nice or giving people a chance. Here is your permission, written in stone. You do not owe anyone another chance, not if their previous chances demonstrated who they are. Maya Angelou said, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." But I'll go further. When someone shows you who they are, act accordingly. Do not explain your boundary. Do not justify your distance. Do not jade, justify, argue, defend, explain. These are all forms of negotiating with people who've already shown they don't respect your sovereignty. A simple no is a complete sentence. A polite but firm "that doesn't work for me" requires no elaboration. The strong do not explain their boundaries, they enforce them. And the response to your boundary tells you everything you need to know. Those who respect you will accept it. Those who resist it were the reason you needed it. The third forbidden revelation. Your separations and sacred relationships never reveal who God is removing or who He is bringing. This strikes at the heart of the 2026 initiation. You are entering a season of radical relational restructuring, and the temptation will be to narrate it, to process it publicly, to bring others into the decision-making. But this would be catastrophic. Why? Because the decision is not yours to crowdsource. When God or fate or your higher self, or whatever language you prefer, is separating you from someone, there is a wisdom operating beyond your conscious understanding. Your spirit knows before your mind does. You begin to feel the mismatch, the drain, the subtle wrongness of continuing. But if you bring this nascent knowing to others for advice, you invite confusion. They will offer 10 different perspectives based on 10 different value systems, and none of them have access to the information your spirit has. They don't feel what you feel. They don't sense what you sense. They're operating from their projections, their own relational traumas, their own fears and hopes. Moreover, if you announce who is leaving your life, you create drama where there could be dignity. People become defensive. They demand explanations. They turn it into conflict when it could have been a quiet divergence. And worse, you invite others to take sides, to judge your decision, to maintain relationships with those you're releasing, and keep feeding you information about them, inadvertently keeping you tethered to what you're trying to transcend. The superior move, silent withdrawal. You don't announce departures. You simply stop arriving. You don't explain why you're unavailable. You're just genuinely unavailable. You don't apologize for your boundaries. You maintain them with quiet consistency until the relationship naturally atrophies. This is not cruelty. This is respect. For them, for yourself, for the complexity of human connection that cannot be reduced to a conversation that brings closure. Sometimes the healthiest ending is no ending at all, just a slow fade, a gradual reduction of presence, until one day you both realize you haven't spoken in Mo.